Viewers and subscribers, please make sure to subscribe to Saga News TV and give a like and share, because if you don't, you will miss out a lot of news.
A 17-year-old Hanover boy has been arrested and charged for the shooting of a man in Lucy. He was taken into custody recently after he turned up at hospital with gunshot wound. He is charged with wounding with intent, using a firearm to commit a scheduled offense, and possession of prohibited weapon. The police reported that about 9 p.m. on Saturday, August 30, a man was purchasing an item at a shop in the area when he was beckoned by the teen, who requested one of the items he had brought. After receiving the item, the teen allegedly pulled a firearm, pointed it in the man's direction and opened fire. The man received gunshot wounds to his neck and left eye. However, he managed to escape and assisted to the hospital by passerby. He was admitted in serious but stable condition. A report was subsequently made to the police and an investigation was launched. On Sunday, November 23, the teen was arrested after he turned up at the hospital to be treated for a gunshot wound. He was formally charged on Thursday, November 27, based on statement collected implicated him. His court date has been finalized. A Kingston man has been charged with robbery aggregation following an incident on Wood Street in the parish on Thursday, November 27. He is 18 years old, Demai Roden, otherwise called D, or D1 of Fleet Street in Kingston. According to police reports, about 3 p.m. Roden, along with several other men, reportedly approached a boy who was standing along the roadway. One of the culprits, who had a knife, reportedly held up the boy and robbed him of cash and other properties. Before the group made their escape in the area, a report was made and Roden was pointed out to the police. He was subsequently apprehended and taken into custody, where he was charged. A man accused of shooting a taxi driver during an alleged robbery attempt has been freed of gun and robbery charge after spending 3 years behind bars. 25 years old Ryan Baker of Cemetery in Kingston was freed last Monday in a gun court. Baker had been charged and indicted with using a firearm to commit a felony, assault with intent to rob, and wounding with intent, stemming from a December 14, 2022 incident in which he was accused of attempting to rob a taxi operator at gunpoint in downtown Kingston. According to the allegations, Baker was reportedly among a group of men who held up the cab driver trying to steal his vehicle and later shot him during a struggle. However, at the close of the prosecution case, Attorney at Law Javid Grant successfully argued in a no-case submission that the Crown had failed to establish that Baker had any knowledge of a firearm or participated in the attempt robbery. Grant argued that while Baker was present at the scene, there was no evidence linking him to the weapon, the shooting of any giant enterprise to rob the complainant. Justice Tarakar upheld the submission, ruling that the prosecution have not proven any of the offense and the indictment. The judge noted that any inference of knowledge or participation by Baker would be a stretch, and ordered his release. Police reports initially alleged around 8:15 p.m. On the night in question, the complainant was operating his taxi in downtown Kingston when Baker, said to be a passenger, pulled a firearm and demanded the vehicle. The vehicle later crashed into a utility pole, after which the taxi operator was shot and the assailant escaped. Baker was later arrested during a police operation at his home and charged. A Igla has been charged with being armed with an offensive weapon following a police operation at Mawo Drive on Friday, November 28. He is 52 years old Anthony Cranston of Willow Drive, Kingston 11. According to reports from the Hunts Bay Police, about 2:33 p.m., a team-man patrol in the area observed a group of men along the roadway, acting in a manner that aroused their suspicion. They approached the man, and during a search, Cranston was found with a machete in his possession. He was subsequently taken into custody, where he was charged. Cranston is scheduled to appear before the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court on December 18. The St. Catherine South Police are trying to apprehend persons responsible for the death of a man whose body was discovered in Newlands, Portmore, St. Catherine on Sunday, November 30. Police say the deceased is suspected to be Lester Beckford, a 44-year-old truck driver of Craighead, Golden District, Manchester. Reports are that about 4:20 p.m. cop responded to a scene on a dirt track off Newlands Road. On arrival, the body of a male of dark complexion, about 5 feet 10 inches in length, in black polo shirt, blue jeans pants, and Clark's shoes was found. The body was in a pool of blood on its back, with what appeared to be gunshot wound to the head. No motive has been established for the murder. The Portmore Criminal Investigation Branch is probing the matter. Investigators in Portmore St. Catherine are searching for a taxi operator who allegedly sexually assaulted a 14-year-old girl in the parish recently. Reports are that the suspect, who's from Greater Portmore community, carried out the act late in October. The accused said to have lured the child to his home where he sexually assaulted her. A subsequent report was made after the victim started to act strangely and revealed her ordeal. The police have since launched an investigation into the matter. The St. Catherine North Police have confirmed that 53-year-old Paula Grant of Chilsfield District in Linstead has been charged with the murder of his mother, 80-year-old Jasmine Sister Grant. Grant, whose decomposing body was discovered inside their home last week. The charge comes days after the investigators were called to the premises on Wednesday, November 19, when concerned residents raised an alarm after not seeing the elderly woman since November 12, the day she was last seen alive. According to Linstead Police, officers arrived at the house about 11:10 a.m., where Paula reportedly granted them access to the premises. Once inside, they found Sister Grant lying on the floor in an advanced state of decomposition, with multiple wounds to her head. The scene was processed and the body was removed to the morgue pending a post-mortem examination. Police say Paula was taken into custody and later confessed of killing his mother. He was subsequently charged following a question and answer session conducted in the presence of his attorney. A court date has been finalized. Sections of the Scarlet Road community in Spanish Town, St. Catherine remain tense following the killing of a resident by unknown assailant. Death is Alfonso Samuel McDonald, otherwise called Boo, a 60-year-old of the era. Reports are that about 5:30 a.m., explosions were heard in the community. Checks made found McDonald was injured. Cops were summoned and found him clad in a red t-shirt and camouflage pants, black socks, black slippers, and lying face down with what appeared to be gunshot wounds to his head. No motive has been established for the deadly attack. McDonald was assisted to the Spanish Town Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The Spanish Town Criminal Investigation Branch is conducting a probe into the matter. A 27-year-old truck operator died at the Spanish Town Hospital after he was found suffering from what police believe to be electrocution injuries. The deceased has been identified as Demary Lewis of Mountainside District, St. Elizabeth. Reports are that about 10:20 a.m. on November 26, Lewis was found unresponsive on a tarpaulin on top of a truck along Olaba Road in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. He reportedly had visible electrical injuries. He was rushed to the Spanish Town Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The St. Catherine North Police have since launched a death by misadventure investigation. The Spanish Town Criminal Investigation Branch is leading the probe. A man accused of burglary was mobbed in Bonavista housing scheme in Morrisville, St. Elizabeth on Saturday. Police have identified him as Jermaine Davis. According to police, about 2 p.m. Davis was seen driving a black Toyota Voxy motor car in the community. It is believed that he was involved in a break-in at a house in the community. Police said, while attempting to leave the premises, the resident confronted him, and Davis reportedly pulled a knife during a struggle to restrain him. Police said he managed to run away from the premises, but was subsequently cornered by residents who confronted him. He was reportedly stoned and mobbed before he and the motor car were set on fire. Police were called to the area where they found Davis' body on the roadway with his hands and feet bound with ropes. Police said there were signs of life and David was taken to the Mandeville Regional Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Sources say Davis was previously implicated in another burglary in Manchester and was also beaten in that incident. Residents in section of St. Elizabeth got an early morning jolt on Monday when a minor earthquake rocked a part of the parish. The earthquake unit at the University of the West Indies, Mona, confirmed that the tremor had a magnitude 3 of 0.1. It struck at 2:24 a.m. with an epicenter near Goshen in St. Elizabeth. People in Santa Cruz reported they feel shaken, but there were no report of damage or injuries. The earthquake unit is encouraging residents who feel a tremor to share their experience so the team can better assess the event.